a little closer. Just do a voice check, please. Yes, start.
Good afternoon to all. I, Dr. Manorma Gupta, heartily welcome you all for the webinar on Career Vibe Check, Filter Your Own Elements, organized by School of Sciences, Pimpri Chinchwad University. The PCET is a driving force behind PCU. PCET has a rich history of providing quality education to students across the various disciplines. I take immense pleasure to introduce our today's panelists, Dr. Mitali More and Ms. Aditi Kulkarni. Dr. Mitali More is an entrepreneurship educator, consulting industrial psychologist. She is the founder of Guru K Educational Solution and co-founder director at Skillets Foundation. She is a mentor, investor, and consultant with the Niti Aayog startup project IIM K, IIMB, IIT Powai, and many more. She has completed her PhD in 2012. Now she is pursuing postdoctorate study in Gita Rahasya. Madam, we heartily welcome you for this webinar. Our next panelist for today is Ms. Aditi Kulkarni, founder and director of Yuvana Wellness Clinic, which revolves around comprehensive mental health care, which include therapy sessions, health screening, and educational training. Madam has achieved an outstanding leadership award, which reflects her dedications to impactful healthcare innovations. Ma'am completed her MS in Applied Neurosciences from King's College, London, and has further achieved a diploma in nutrition and dietetics from NHCA, Singapore. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. Now I seek the permission from the moderator of the today's webinar, Professor Ruchu Kuthiala, ma'am, to kindly start our session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Manorma. And once again, on behalf of School of Sciences, we would like to, congratulate as well as thank to our very, very learned and quite experienced speakers for today's dialogue. Although it's a webinar, but it's actually a dialogue where we are going to listen from them a very, very important kind of milestone in life that is called as career. Because career is not all about what do you earn. Career is also all about how much your mental health and how much emotionally and socially you relate with that kind of an environment, whether it is related to subject choice or whether it is related to all the confounding factors that may influence the choice of the career. But as it is always said, that we always learn from the childhood. So over here, we truly believe that the preparation for a successful career, which only doesn't mean how much you are actually earning, which also means that how much you feel happy, your inner happiness actually starts from within, and that too at a very, very early stage of life. So, with this kind of thought in mind, I would like to hear it from those first, those who have actually juggled or those who have actually faced some kind of challenges and also some factors which would have been a privilege for them or the factors which were just the righteous kind of the behavior for them that it made the path very easy. So before we actually go to our learned panelist, I would like to invite our very, very two bright students, Ojas as well as Nayan, to a little share in brief about their journey, especially when it came to the decision making related to career. So, Ojas, could you please on your video as well as your audio so that we can hear you for another 2, 3 minutes? That how was your journey and how did you yourself land up here, not only in science, but also the field that's what you say as psychology? So, how did you talk to your parents? What were the factors, peer or social? So, if you could just a little throw the light on the same. Is Ojas here? All right. So, do we have our student Nayan with us? I would like to just check with the IT department. Are these students?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, yes. I was not able to hear you before. Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ojas, so as I'm hopeful that you must have heard me. That
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
could just share in brief, because today the topic is career vibe check. And
Mm-hmm.
definitely you chose your career, but how the journey was there for you? Was it so easy? Everybody was cooperative? Or what are the elements do you actually feel can influence that what career we should be choosing and how? So if you could just throw some light first.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everyone. My name is Ojas Makwekar, and I'm a student of BSc Clinical Psychology from Pimpri Chinchwad University. I've just completed my second year, and it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this panel. My journey into psychology began in a rather unexpected way during the lockdown in the pandemic. Like many of us, I was spending a lot of time on YouTube and social media, and I stumbled across videos explaining human behavior, the brain, and even the evolutionary roots of our actions. That curiosity quickly turned into fascination. I didn't even know a field like clinical psychology existed until then. What truly intrigued me was the evolutionary aspect of psychology, understanding why we think or behave a certain way through the lens of survival, biology, and adaptation. The blend of human behavior, neuroscience, and evolution felt like the perfect mix of science and humanity, and I knew this was the path I wanted to pursue. But getting here wasn't easy. There was a real lack of information about how to get into this field, especially at the basic level. I didn't know what entrance I needed, what universities to aim for, or whether clinical psychology even had a defined path or scope. My family, like many, uh, had their own doubts in the beginning. They were worried about the future. What will I do after the degree? Is there a scope in this field? But I took the time to explain what psychology truly is, what clinical psychology involves, and how it can help people. Over the time, their perception changed, and now they are extremely supportive, which I'm grateful for. Lastly, I want to appreciate the incredible support I've received at my university at School of Sciences department. From day one, our teachers and especially our HOD, Dr. Ruchu ma'am, have been so encouraging and approachable and also invested in our learning. That kind of support builds confidence among students, and honestly, I don't think I would have grown this much without it. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me.
Thank you. For whatever you just shared as your journey. Definitely, we could learn that parents, peers, social media, as well as then once you land up into what kind of a university, that environment really is going to shape up that whatever the decision you have taken is right or not. So, thank you so much. And moving on to Nayan. Nayan, if you could also share in brief your journey that the way Ojas has shared, that what were the challenges and what were the conditions which were like opportunity for you, and how did you land up so that the our listeners could understand. So yes,
Yes,
over
ma'am.
you, Nayan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayan Nandavati, and I am currently pursuing my BSc in Nutrition and Dietetics in my third year.
Nayan, I cannot hear you.
Hello, hello.
All right, I guess yes, 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 please, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayan Nandavate, and I am currently pursuing BSc in my Nutrition and Dietetics degree. I am really honored to share my student perspective today on choosing nutrition as a career path. Honestly speaking, I didn't always have a fixed plan to step into this field. Like many students, I was interested in medical field, but I wasn't sure where it open to exploring options, and that's when I started researching online through Google, social media platforms, and career websites.
Nayan, we can't hear you properly. A little forward. Yeah.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Nayan, please go ahead, beta. We can listen you. Please go
Yes.
ahead.
So that's how I discovered this university. When I visited and interacted with my HOD, all my doubts started clearing up. The way she explained the scope and vision of this field made me realize how dynamic and impactful nutrition can be in today's world. What attracted me most was nutrition and dietetics is a growing yet underexplored field. It holds great importance in our society, especially with increasing awareness about health, lifestyle diseases, and preventive care. I started seeing this not just as a subject but as a purposeful career. But the journey hasn't been without challenges. Choosing a career that isn't as a mainstream as engineering or MBBS often brings confusion and hesitation. I had questions that will I will be successful or is this the right choice? And even though my parents were supportive, they were also unsure at first. My friends had mixed opinions, and social media sometimes created unrealistic expectations. But on the brighter side, platforms like YouTube and Instagram also helped me learn about nutrition trends, expert journeys, and emerging career roles, which boosted my confidence. So, this is how I am here.
Thank you so much, Nayan, for sharing all the factors as we are here for discussion today. That yes, environment and what is the scope I'm going to do further, whether the career I'm choosing is going to make or whether not, and what my parents think about it. These are all the factors that may influence. So thank you so much to both of you for sharing your journey. But as rightly said, our very, very learned Miss Aditi as well as Dr. Mitali to kindly keep yourself, your video also on as well as your audio on. So I would like to put across few questions so that you can share your experiences and your opinions, and this is how our viewers and listeners can learn from it. So, can we put the speaker on the pin mode and we can minimize the creator? So, my first question uh, uh, would be to Miss Aditi. So, Aditi, am I audible to you?
No, ma'am, you're breaking
Repeat
off.
this again. Am I audible to you? Now, is it okay?
Yes.
All right. So Aditi, as per the topic what we are discussing today, that's the career vibe check. And I'm very, very sure in your, the wellness clinic where you handle so many cases. So there must have been some kind of parents or maybe the students who must pick up of career.
Ma'am, I lost you again.
Is it okay? Uh,
It,
uh, all right.
I think if
Uh,
you,
now is it better?
No, really. If you could turn off your video, it might help. I don't know. Some lag in your
Uh, I'm
network.
so sorry. Just give me 1 minute. I'll change my place for better connectivity.
Yeah,
Just wait.
sure.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Now is it better?
Yes, much.
All right. So my question to you was being a practicing psychologist, and that too in your wellness centers, I'm very sure you must be receiving a lot of queries from parents as well as the children. So, in your experience, what are the two major factors which may influence that this career would be good or this career would not be good? And what are the factors which really can influence the decision making of a person that what career to go for? So, over to you, please.
Okay. First of all, thank you all for having me here. I'm very happy to be a part of this conversation, and I hope I can be of some help to everybody who's listening. Coming to your question, there are a couple of factors that actually influence somebody's decision making. I would want to go the other way around to your questions. The first thing is the most important, rather, I would say, is the innate desire of the child or of any individual about what they want to do in their life. So we have aptitude tests and we have a plethora of things that we can administer and really understand where their aptitude lies and where their skill set lies and all of that. But for me personally, I give more importance to what that child actually wants to do more than the kind of skills that they might have. Now, I'll give you a very simple example of myself that when my aptitude testing was done when I was in 10th grade, it told me that I can be a good lawyer. Now I know that that is because I have good linguistic skills, and that is what the aptitude test measured, and that is what they suggested, that I can be a good lawyer. But that cannot be the only parameter for making a decision regarding your career, because I innately do not have any liking for the field of law. So I can probably understand what skills I have and what I will be naturally good at, and what is something that I might not naturally have a better inclination towards through testing, through all of the other things. But the most important factor for decision making is the innate interest of an individual, what they would want to do, what they would want to see themselves as. And I always like to ask people this question: who do you want to wake up as? If tomorrow morning you have to wake up and see yourself in the mirror, what do you want to see yourself as? That will give you the most real answer as to what you want to do with your life. And then the skill set is the secondary part, whether you have the natural skill set for the career that you want to pursue or not. Are those skill sets something that can be achieved, can be developed or not? That's a later discussion. But even when parents ask me these questions, or even when students ask me these questions as to what we should do post 10th or 12th grade or whatever, my primary suggestion is to really understand what you like, what is it that you want to see yourself as. And to understand that, you need to explore, you need to learn about different careers. You probably should do a couple of internships here and there to really understand whether it is your cup of tea or not. But it is something that will help you navigate to the most accurate answer by understanding what is your natural inclination in. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You are right that what is your inner instinct really matters a lot, and you should be chasing your dreams. So, speaking of which, I would like to put across same, but a little very, focused question that too in relevance to the parental approach. So, I'm very sure that you must agree with me, Dr. Mitali, that sometimes what we want and what parents want, there is a huge gap, and both are right at their own places, because for parents they may feel that the child is a little immature, they do not know, and we have seen the world. And for the child it is like that I am really ready to take any kind of a risk, and I'm totally there to step up into this competitive world, and they enjoy that adrenaline rush. So just coming from you, would like to understand that uh, how the parental approach is generally, and what could be the insecurities that they must be feeling, and how the child in today's world should be addressing the same. So, yes, over to you, please.
Yes. So thank you so much for having us here today. And good afternoon, everybody. And I would really appreciate, Ruchu ma'am, you have brought up a very good question here about parenting. So we speak about children, we speak about their careers, we speak about the confusion in their careers. But the major role that is being played, at least for the earlier stages of career, is with the parents. And generally, our clientele is a parent, and our clientele is also from the mid-age career transformation. Our clientele is also a dual career client. So we have a lot of cases in which we face these kind of questions. And in the earlier stages, as you said, a child comes up with some kind of a passion, or he, puts it forward in front of the parents that he wants to do a graduation in psychology, or he has this kind of perception about his career, and the parents prima facie they see the child after 10 years of his career choice. So that is about his settlement, or that is about his own investment, or that is about his own saving in the bank account, and that is why probably the parents are not very comfortable with the choice that the child has made. Okay, so that is coming out of our own experience. What we do in these cases is we try to put the parent and the child on the same platform to start with. So the same amount of knowledge, the same amount of understanding about a specific career, and then we take them ahead together. Okay, so as you rightly said that the parents are looking forward to the career of the child, and the child is still going to get into the career path. So he is still in the very initial stages to rightly know about the risk and the dangers that are coming forward in his career. So the best part is unlearning of the parent in this stage, taking them down to say minus 25 years, and then sitting with the child and start discussing about the career at the first go initially, a very fresh and right from scratch. So this is how we help them in doing. So yes, this is what is our
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because as I rightly said, and as you also have mentioned, that both parties are actually right. But yes, what the child wants, and as we rightly say, that parents should also be accepting a little bit of differences in a very, graceful manner, because sometimes the protection can look like in a controlled manner. So it's very important to hear your, early adulthood facing period child who is just in 16 or 17 and is learning. We should respect the individual. We should be hearing out. And whenever there are some differences, absolutely right that they have to be handled in a very graceful and a very productive manner, so that they get convinced. Because the moment we control them, I'm very sure this generation, they definitely, they do not take it in a very healthy manner. So coming to
What
the,
generation
I
will
would,
ever take that in a healthy way,
right,
ma'am?
right, true. So coming to a little technical part of it. So, my next question is to you, Aditi, that, in the field of psychology, especially in the counseling psychology, there is something which is called as psychometric analysis. And that is done so that we can understand the individual better.
Yeah.
And nobody heard of it before, but with the changing times, we have seen that now the parents are also very, very cautious, and they are very, very supportive. And sometimes to take the right decision, it makes me feel very happy that they are reaching to the professional.
Right.
So I request you to just talk a little about it and also tell that at which stage it should be done so that it is helpful. So that, the bus has not left the station, something like that. So
Right.
over to you. Yeah.
So psychometric testing, let me start with that first. It is a very broad concept. It involves a lot of testing that we do for a lot of targets, basically. So what we're talking about in today's context would be something related to career choice or career enhancement, decision making, etc. So that includes aptitude testing, that includes attitude testing, that might also have IQ and EQ testing, and so on. So there is a long list of tests that can be done depending on depending on what the target is, depending on what the goal is of the individual, what they want to understand about themselves. So if there is somebody who is trying to understand what kind of a career they should be choosing, so then an aptitude test and an attitude test is something that they should do somewhere in high school. Maybe that's the best time to do it, around 8th or ninth grade. Would be the perfect time to get an aptitude and attitude testing done, because that is when you can later on make informed decisions. Having said that, it is not restricted to an 8th or ninth grade only. You can do it somewhere in, let's say, junior college also. There are people for whom I have conducted aptitude tests even at the ages of 25 and 30. So it is not restricted, but yes, the best time, if you would ask me, would be somewhere by the end of high school, to get your aptitude attitude testing done, your IQ testing done, etc., so that you have a clear understanding of, as I was mentioning previously, clear understanding of your innate likings, your skill sets, what you should be focusing on, so on and so forth. And as you said, there are a lot of students and a lot of parents currently, a lot of schools also, that have taken the initiative of getting these scorings in these testings done for their students, followed with a proper career guidance session. So it really benefits their students in the best possible way. So psychometrics is something that provides or attempts to provide an empirical evidence to something that is completely vague, so it just helps you to understand yourself better.
Right, right. So very wonderfully, you have, explained in a very simplified manner. And I am very sure that as per we are listening from you, it is really important nowadays because sometimes the children in that age of, being in eighth standard, ninth standard, or maybe for that matter in high school, they are little distracted.
Yes.
And sometimes they are in a influence of the peer, and sometimes under the influence of the social media that somebody is successful, so I also would like to go forward and go ahead. But the moment we are in our early 20s, or coming near to early 30s, then it is a very, very big reality check that and I would like to put this question to Dr. Mitali, madam, that I hope I'm audible. Yes. So,
Yes.
madam, you being into industrial psychology kind of a field, I'm very, very sure that you must have come across some kind of failing ant stories that definitely never to give up, but sometimes it is a failing ant. Like the psychometric analysis may be saying that the person should have become uh, somewhere related to medical health professional. But looking at the peer pressure, what was going on, the person has landed up into a very, very technical kind of a field where human element is less and the machine element is more. Something like CS or maybe engineering field or secured kind of a job, that kind of a vertical where everything looks more secured, but at the same time, maybe the heart was not lying. So, could you just share at least one case study like that? And also, how did you handle it then? Then what has to be done if you realize after some time that probably the career choice was wrong? So, over to you, please.
Right. So this is a wonderful question, Ruchu ma'am. And I tell you, at least 25 to 30% people are do change their careers in the middle of the career. And because might be they have not received a proper guidance in their early adolescent or adulthood stage, probably they have not received the exposure around from the schools and colleges and even the parents. Third thing is they were probably not able to find out what is their real interest. As Aditi rightly said, that innate feeling is very important in this stage. And lastly, the type of network which is required to drive your passion, that is equally important, which is generally very neglected field. Okay, so daily we go across these kind of examples, and daily we counsel these kind of people who have been got into a career. And as I said, that many of the people we have in the middle of the career. So generally the career decision is being taken very early, that is 18 or 19, or after their 10th, that is 16 years of age, or 12th, that is 18 years of age. But many people do shift their careers in the early 30s. That is also a kind of research that is being done. So if these kind of people come to us, the basic thing that we do is, of course, the career testing, the quotient testing that we do. And aptitude testing is one. When we generally talk about psychometric testing, it is a combination of personality and attitude. Okay, we also have the test which focusly check about the emotions, behavior, and attributes. Okay, which are required for the career. And they tell you about the broad principles of what is your interest, what you are good at, but they never tell you about what is the demand in the industry. Okay, so we have developed this kind of test out of our experience of say 20 years in this industry. Me and my team, we have got the levels of hierarchy. So this senior team, we have came together, and with our past experience, a bit of learning and unlearning, we have come up with these kind of tests which also tells you about the demand in the industry. So we say it as a Ikigai compass, because this model was being discovered into Ikigai, where what you love, what you are good at doing, what is the demand from the industry, and what you will get paid for. So these four questions are being tested in an individual, and through that we rightly understand the combination of these attributes, and we understand what is your vocation, what you are good at doing, what is your passion, which you can do it even without being paid. Okay, what is the demand from the industry, what is the requirement, and that economics also we study in that. So, if I have to tell you an example, I will tell you my example only. Okay, so I am also a postgraduate in HR, so human resources. And at that time, my passion was only being with people and doing something for people in corporate. Okay, my interest in psychology was derived a bit later when I actually started talking to people. Because I, being non-science student, this was never the preference in my career, but I chose doing my graduation in commerce, then my post graduation in human resource management. Then I happened to speak with many people in corporate, wherein I understood that I need to learn psychology to give a powerful base or to give a powerful support for my HR career. And then I did my post graduation, graduation and post graduation in psychology. I started talking to people with that reference. I started giving the therapeutic approaches like REBT is there, then CBT is there, then some of the testing that we did in the quotient testing that we started doing it. When I started interacting with the entrepreneurs, I felt more need to dive deeper into the psychological aspects and for developing new theories and strategies which the entrepreneur should work on. So the entrepreneurship mindset or the entrepreneurship resilience, or the failure approaches, so on and so forth. When I did my post graduation in psychology, I was very passionate to work in the field of clinical psychology and counseling, and I started, shadowing up with some of the psychiatrists and psychologists, which would, give the therapeutic approaches for the remedies. Okay, and the first client that I received, which I could independently handle, was a cancer patient. Okay, and I was having a liking, I was having the innate skill to help that lady. I was also being empathetic, but somehow I never felt of studying a trauma informed approach for that. And this was a trauma that she was facing. She sat in front of me, she started talking about how she got into this illness and how prolonged this illness was, what type of difficulty she was facing physically and psychology to get into it. And somehow I gave her the first aid in psychological counseling, but later on I almost cried for 1.5 days. So you won't believe, this was my interest coming into this field. This was my innate interest coming into this field. So what happened that I was not very convinced with my performance in front of the client. So that was, I never studied this trauma informed approach, and I never, I being the very sensitive person, this was not the right field for me. Or if I want to get in this kind of field, I need to prepare for at least 5 years or 3 years to work with these kind of clients. Then only I would have, confidently faced this client and get into this kind of counseling session later on. So I discovered again that what is my interest, what I should do, and then I came back to my square one, that was my real career into HR. And then I decided to work in the field of organizational psychology full-fledged. So last almost 20 years I have been working,
Absolutely.
out of which 14 years I am working in the field of industrial psychology. And
Wow,
today
that's
I'm happy,
nice.
I am satisfied, my clients are satisfied, and that gives me a win-win approach.
Very nice, very nice. So it was absolutely a delight and quite enriching to hear from you that a person who is postgraduate in HR, a very good live example. And then the heart was lying somewhere, to help people, to extend support, and a little drool over towards the palliative care. And then you listen to your heart and 20 long years. So it takes a lot of courage, to shift yourself. But at the same time, as you also rightly said, I totally agree that if you're not happy, whatever you are doing, even if the packages are very, very high and the name of the organization is also very, very elite, but at the same time, if your heart is not lying, you are not able to find your ikigai where you are actually working. And probably nothing gives you that kind of a solace or maybe a sense of contentment when you're fully not into that. And that is what the today's world is, that sometimes we take some decisions which may be leading us to a path either of happiness or maybe a path of a little bit of discontentment. And after some period of time, that is the late adulthood, I would say, where everything comes at a peak, the peak of responsibilities, the peak of fulfilling not only your expectations, but even what others are also expecting out of you. That pressure, then probably things go in a very, very jeopardized manner. And looking around the world, that people are suffering from so many, not only mental, but also physical, both health issues. So we cannot ignore the factor that 60% of our time we are spending at our workplaces. So if we find happiness and that gives you kick, then definitely your internal health is also good. So, coming to this, most interestingly, uh, we have learned from our parents or maybe from our peer. But today's generation, I cannot say the same because there is so much of influence of social media. Social media is anywhere, everywhere, wherever you go. And you cannot imagine your life without this 6 by 6 or 7 by 7 gadget in the hand. You really feel lost, and we always say to our kids that don't watch mobile, but unintentionally, the moment we get up, either we off the alarm, that too also on the mobile, or check whether we have received some mail or somebody has pinged me, WhatsApp, Instagram. Some of them probably I also don't know, but the list is very, very long. And as it is always said that balance is the key for everything. So my question is going to be a little contrasting to both of you, but yes, on the same topic, that is a social media. So I would like to ask you, I would like to ask Dr. Mitali Oli first that social media is everywhere, anywhere. You really cannot ignore it. And I also feel that being into university, we want to make our presence felt over the social media. So it is boon as well as bane. So I would like to request you to talk about that, how positively the social media can influence, and that too to today's generation, not only in terms of the career, but also as in terms of the productivity, that how it could be a boon for them. So over to you.
Right. So, social media, as you said, it is a part of our daily routine now. At least for our generation, it was like a one fourth of the day spending with technology and spending on computers. But now it is a part of your daily routine. Okay, so we cannot ideally skip social media, but one can always be focused for using social media, because, as you said, that there are good and bads about the about being on social media. So, if you are a psychology student, if you wish to go for a social media input for your career, you should go for some kind of podcast which are there, some very good podcasts which are there discussing on these kind of matters. You can take down your own notes. Okay, as I said, that learning is equally important and unlearning is equally important in that case. So parents can also go on social media and watch these kind of the podcast. Students can also go there, and with their innate skills and with their innate interest, they can actually put down few sites which they want to visit and they want to learn from. Of course, the after effect is also there. Once you learn from the media, you should take down your own notes. You should actually follow those notes. If some kind of questions are there, you have to ask those questions to the right person in front of you. So he might be your mentor or the coach or your parents or your faculty member, anybody who can guide you on the same. The confusion can also be, dropped, filtered down from social media. So, if you wish to go for a specific sector, so for example, organizational psychology is something that you would love to go for. So, you can go on LinkedIn or some kind of social medias in which the industry people are there. The networking would happen. You can randomly go and visit 10 different profiles in that sector and just check on what they are doing. Okay, what is their job role, and what they are offered, what kind of rewards are they offered for doing some kind of job. That can also give you a good input on what is the sector all about, what is the industrial and organizational psychology, what kind of jobs are coming up in this sector, which kind of companies are offering these jobs. So are they the startups or they are the Fortune 500 companies? So that knowledge the student can get, rather than going and meeting 100 people and spending that much time and taking their permission to meet them. They can generally go on LinkedIn and just see the information which is published by them only. Okay, so it is completely ethical, but only the thing is the focus needs to be there. So they can themselves draw a timeline in which they can do this work, and we also get it done through our counseling sessions. And we, of course, give them a homework and they have to come up with the results in the next counseling. So, this is how the students can plan their journey.
Absolutely, very beautifully portrayed that yes, that we need to be quite responsible when it comes to the usage of the social media. And we should feel how should I say, privileged that we are living in the world where, the gadget is doing everything for us. It's like a mini computer. Because to get a computer 10 years back was like, as I said, that only few families could afford it. Or maybe the mindset was like that. But just look at now. Mobiles, tabs, they have become so handy. And every parent has got that acceptance that we need to give it because it gives a sense of security, a sense of connectivity. And apart from this, definitely educational if we make the best use of it. That wherever you want, you have any query, you can immediately clear it just on a click, and you will get every data just very, very handy. And not only that, research, as you said, that if you want to learn about some person and you want to know more about certain topic, so very easily you can visit the website on a click and go for the research. And whatever career you choose, whether doctor, engineer, psychologist, nutritionist, physiotherapist, and so on, but to responsibly use it and make the best use of it is something which is very much. But coming to you, and am I audible?
Yes,
Or
yes.
did you? Yes. Yes. So coming to you, Aditi, as I said, that this is how we all want that the way our coming generation or maybe Gen Zs, they should be using the social media and they should make the best use out of it. But is it really true? It is a boon. But is it really true? This is how the Gen Zs are looking at it. That's the biggest question mark. We all
Right.
know that the moment the likes are less, very appreciative of you, of some content, whatever you have posted on social media, it really makes our dopaminergic system very up and down. And we have also
Yeah.
seen that if it is a pathway to connect, but ironically, the pathway of disconnecting with some health, this is also something where social media needs to take that kind of a responsibility. They cannot get away. So, just wanted to know from you, as a perspective, a practicing person who is handling so many patients or so many clients, if you could just talk about that and how it can really affect the health. And are you struggling to listen to me, Aditi?
Uh,
Are you
I
feeling
missed
that my
I missed the last part that you said.
All right, all right. So I was just saying, sorry, probably a little connectivity issue is there. My apologies for that. So I was just saying that how the social media coming to the pain kind of a perspective, because Dr. Mitali kept forward very beautifully the boon perspective. But I would like you to talk about realistic this aspect also, that how it can affect the mental health and also how it can lead to wrong career choices just because of being under the influence of the social media and then probably realizing it very, very later. So, coming to you. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, if we're just talking about the negative effects of social media, let us all acknowledge the fact that social media obsession has been included as a part of the obsessive compulsive disorders spectrum in the upcoming DSM-6. So that's the biggest indication, if any, for anybody to know that social media obsessions are now not just in theory, but they are actually a clinically diagnosable condition, which people will start getting medications for as well. So that is how real it is, and that is how big a problem it poses to the generations here on forward. Coming to the clinical exposure of it, yes, there is a lot of people, and I wouldn't want to narrow it down only to the Gen Zs. There are a lot of millennials, a lot of auntie generations, everybody who is obsessed with social media, and they cannot. It is, as you said, it is a dopamine surge. It is their daily dose of dopamine, and little less likes or a little delayed interactions on their posts or whatever has a really strong impact on them. I remember one incident during one of the classes where I actually made the students not check their own profiles for a week, and everybody failed at it miserably. Social media, if not used responsibly, is a big challenge, and there's a very thin line between using it responsibly and not being responsible with it. So how much time you spend online, how much you let yourself get absorbed in the rabbit hole is something that nobody can really put a threshold on nowadays, because when we are saying this, we are literally using an online platform. We are saying this through an online platform. So where is the line really, right? But as a clinician, I would say where I draw the line is if it starts affecting the individual in their overall well-being. That is where I would draw the line. As long as it is not affecting them in their productivity, as long as it is not affecting them in their food patterns, in their sleep patterns, their social life is not getting hampered, their interactability with their peers, their family, if all of these are not getting affected, then I think that is still a responsible use of social media. If any of these or more of these aspects are getting affected, if somebody is unable to sleep because of the anticipation of a post that is upcoming, or whether somebody is unable to eat properly because they did not receive the right kind of reactions from their tribe, or all of that, if that happens, then yes, that's a challenge, and that is where the dysfunctionality really starts. And this, I think, is an individual's responsibility, and they should own up to that responsibility, to make sure that they are not crossing over into a realm where they become completely dependent on the gratification that you receive from social media. The social media interaction is not really the problem. The gratification we receive from it is the problem. So if an individual can really control or put a tab on how much gratification I really require from social media, I think we should all be fine. Otherwise, yes, it's a big
Right,
challenge.
right. I truly agree with you. And very scientifically, you have put across that yes, social media is very important. It has become a very constant factor in all of our lives, and we cannot get away from it because it's just that there are so many things for which we are a little dependent on the social media. But as rightly said, codependency or so much of that kind of a behavior that you're feeling a little slave of the social media, and the addiction is so high that your mental health and a lot of your parameters in terms of the symptoms or maybe the blood investigation, if they are changing because of the dependency on the social media, like I said, the cortisol levels, if they are going a little high, so probably this could be treated as a red flag, and the parents should be very vigilant, the individual themselves, because we are an adults, so adults means responsible behavior. Because where to start, no need to learn, but where to stop, that is something called as a responsibility. And that is how we call as a sense of maturity as well. That when it is making not other person, but you uncomfortable, that it is hampering your body and the way you think. So that is something not right. As rightly said, that detoxification has to be done. So I think the social detox is also the new normal, which we should be encouraging in our classes. And we should be giving them this kind of a task that I really liked it, that for 1 week. But
Yes,
I'm very sure children will do it better next time.
I am
uh,
glad about one thing, that even if
uh,
they did fail it miserably, they were very honest about it, that we couldn't
correct.
control the impulse. So at least
Yeah.
they have the awareness, which is a good start.
Right, true, true, very true. So it was really a wonderful, interaction, and that too with two of very learned and experienced people like both of you. So related to career, as I said in the beginning also, that it is a very, very important decision and it really affects you. It also gives you confidence and it could also make you feel a little underconfidence or intimidated by your peer that they have become very successful. But where am I standing? So, this question, where am I standing, could also be a little relevant to sometimes wrong choices at that point of time and maybe not listening to yourself and picking up a very, very secured and a very, very easy pathway, which is not wrong. But sometimes, if your heart is not lying over there, then unfortunately, you may actually fall. And sometimes the fall is just like that, that you are just not able to hold yourself. And you do not feel that the steering of your life's car is actually in your hand and where it is landing to. So, as a takeaway and the concluding remarks, so I would request both of you to just say at least one line related to when it comes to career and in terms of the message to the parents that how and where they could be supportive or where they need to counsel and where there is a line when you require a professional so that they can guide better. So I think starting with you, Aditi, just a brief, a little one liner that how they are in silos. If you see, the parents are thinking in different approach and children are standing somewhere else. So from you, that how we can bridge this gap, please.
The bridging of the gap is very easy if decided upon, because one of the primary reasons for the gap to exist in itself is because the parents are brought up in a different reality than what the reality is right now. So if the parents make an effort to understand what is the current scenario more, and if the children also make an effort to make them understand their perspectives, this gap can be very easily bridged. Understanding, as I said in the very beginning, understanding what you really want to do in your life, encouraging your children to understand. First of all, I wouldn't even go ahead and say that you should let them pursue whatever they want to do, etc. The first step to it is to let them understand what they want to do. So giving them that opportunity, giving them that breathing space. Okay, 10th ke baad directly jump into 11th and then this and then that, da, 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 da. You do not give them a breathing gap, a breathing space to really pause, think for a couple of minutes as to what I want to do with my life. Gain a little work experience around it, understand the reality of the career that you're trying to choose, and then actually invest your time, money, effort, everything into that career. So both parents and children should work together to understand where they want to go. Parents oftentimes will not maybe know exactly what it is that their child is trying to achieve. They can make an effort to understand. At the same time, children should also know that even if their parents don't exactly have a clear idea, they have built their life so far, and they have had their ups and downs in their life, and then experience is something that can always be of value. So that should be taken into consideration, and hence both can work together to build a good career or build a good life for the children.
Yeah, yeah, right, right. So absolutely a cohesive kind of a behavior and as well as providing that kind of a secured environment that even if you do mistakes, we are there to support you rather than always being very overprotective. And communication is, I guess, the key where
Absolutely.
both parties are talking and both parties in a very congenial manner, they are checking up or doing the research about that career, that because every career has limitations and every career has got some green flags, pluses and minuses, as the way it always exists. So the more they communicate, absolutely, you rightly portrayed it that this is really going to ease on and at least make the journey in a little smooth manner.
And you
So,
had asked a
yes.
very, sorry if I may, you had asked a very small interjection where they should seek professional help. So,
Hmm.
quite recently, a colleague of mine had come to me and she asked me that my daughter wants to become a psychologist, and we have absolutely no clue what that is. But I see you every day and I see you're doing well. So, I'm sure that there is something good about this career. So, can we just get her to you with like me, her husband and herself and their daughter? So all three of them came down to my office and we had a in like a sit down conversation as to set I all I did was set realistic expectations for all three of them. So that is also where a professional might actually be of help, you know. If you are
Right,
not
right.
able to know,
Absolutely.
get somebody's help.
You're right. A good inspiration is always one of the factor, apart from parents and what you feel about it. But yes, but the parameter for good inspiration, as you also said, is a lot of times it's a successful person.
Yes.
So right, correct, correct. So coming to you, Dr. Mitali, if you could also tell in brief one-liner in order to conclude that, how this gap could be a little bridge, a message to the parents specifically.
Yes, sure. So, as I said earlier, that it is very much important for both of them to come on the same page and start together. Okay, so no preconceived notions are allowed here. Parents need to a bit unlearn, of course. Students need to learn a bit. Even both of them together need to relearn something. And for the students specifically, I would love to say that compete with yourself. Okay, because we have learned individual difference, every individual is going to be different. You need to fight the battle on your own. The environment is always going to be volatile, so believe in yourself. Just go ahead and be ready for the resilience. So failure is a part of your journey, rather failure is a part of your success. So if you want to be successful, it is required to be failed, and it is required to have a resilience. Okay, that is one. And one a very important thing I always tell my students, and even for the clients, the entrepreneurs as well, that there is a say, sweat more in training and bleed less in war, in the battle. So the pre-work is very important. The brainstorming sessions are important. As you rightly said, that communication is the key. Put it across the table, discuss on it. Let it be on the brighter side or on the darker side. It is absolutely okay, but let it at least come ahead. Okay, let us put it on the table and discuss on it. So it is very important in that way. And once you know that you are well prepared, then the war is not that difficult. So you can easily go ahead with it, and the career journey will be all good. You will love your journey ahead.
Right, right. And as it is said that everybody is with the rising sun, but people do not want to see the journey.
Right.
So I would also like to add on one message to all the listeners, viewers, as well as the parents that, the successful or the success of some person should not be always the parameter, for deciding upon because they never went lucky that they are there. It's actually the journey which would have been very, very hard or sometimes a little challenging. And a lot of times opportunities must have also come, which they tried to grab and they never looked up to a shortcut or a easy path. And that's why they are there. So are you also ready for the same? Because it takes a lot to reach at a place. But yes, are you ready for the hurdles or obstructions or the hardships? If not, then I think you really need to think whether this career would be a good choice for you or not. And yes, where your heart lies, where you know from your instinct that yes, I will do very, very well, that would be also like 50% of the job done because if you want it, you get it, the way it is said. So it's my message to everybody that, especially the parents also, that the world is suffering from a lot of physical health issues and a lot of mental health issues. Today's topic, what we have discussed, was one aspect of it that is a career and what should be the elements. But at the same time, we all know that all of this has a lot of impact on our happiness, on our sadness, or maybe on the state of mind. And at that point of time, we need some individual who can just hold our hand and can listen to us and can also help us to improve better and better in terms of health. So kindly encourage your children to take clinical psychology and also nutrition and dietetics as one part of the career choice as a field of allied health sciences, because the world is filled of problems. Let us generate that kind of a generation who would be helping the people who are actually into points of distress. So that's all from us from School of Sciences. So this time we have thought to organize such kind of sessions which would be passing on a kind of information to a lot of listeners, those who are aspiring to pick up their career, what to do, what not to do. Some would be focused on allied health sciences, and some topics would be very, very general. So that as a community service, we can help more and more individuals, parents, children, as the results are out, that what kind of a career choice I should be doing, and more information about certain fields, especially psychology as well as nutrition and dietetics. So, thank you so much. I would like to thank our speakers, our panelists for today's session, Madam Aditi as well as Dr. More Madam. So, thank you so much for being here, both of you, and enlightening all of us with such a useful takeaways. So now may I request Ojas to kindly pass the vote of thanks. So here we conclude the session. Thank you so much.
I thank Aditi Kulkarni ma'am, Dr. Mitali More ma'am, Ruchu Kuthiala ma'am for this wonderful session that we had today. We'll be conducting more such sessions, so stay tuned, and thank you so much, ma'am.
Can we have one pic, please? So may I request everybody to kindly on their camera, whom we can see over here, the panelists, our children, everybody, and my staff. May I request Professor Sanidhya to kindly take one picture? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, just a minute.
Okay. So happy, smiling faces.
Okay, let's all smile. I'm taking a screenshot right now. Another one. Thank you.
Saida, I also request you one with that creative, please, if you can do that, please.
Yes.
If you could just share the screen where the creative was displayed.